How do car insurance companies investigate accident claims? Depending on the extent of injuries claimed from an accident as well as property damage, i.e. the claim value, an insurance carrier will invest resources into investigating the claim. Interviews with witnesses to the accident, passengers in the vehicles involved are used to help determine fault. If a police report is filed, that is used as well to determine fault. Liability, however, is often only half the battle. Investigating injuries is a different story. In order to receive compensation for injuries sustained in an accident, the burden of proof is on the injured party. Insurance carriers are notorious for reviewing medical reports and medical imaging to determine if someone is simply faking it. This can make it difficult for parties with poorly documented prior conditions or patients with soft tissue injuries that are not readily apparent on an MRI. Oftentimes, specialists are requested by attorneys on both sides of the claim to give expert testimony to the nature of the injuries and the impacts on daily living the injuries will have in years to come. In addition to reviewing all pertinent documentation regarding the injury, large insurance carriers often look at the injured victim's social media profiles to determine whether or not their daily lives have been impacted. It is for this reason that I tell my clients to refrain from posting, not to delete previous posts while their case is active. What makes this more difficult is the fact that most of time, people are tagged in photos other people post. If you were in an accident and injured, I would recommend that you consult with an experienced personal injury attorney to review the case and advise you accordingly. Depends on the type of accident and their exposure. If it's a simple rear-end accident, I will get statements from the drivers, pick up the police report for the file and then just address damages if my insured was at fault. If our insured is clearly at fault, we will pay what we owe in as expeditious manner as possible. We'll get you in a rental for the repair period and address any legitimate injury concerns that you have that arose from this accident. If there is a liability dispute and/or a significant exposure, I will locate witnesses and get statements along with the investigating law enforcement officers as well. We will also complete a scene investigation and possibly canvass the area for witnesses who may not have spoken to the police at the scene. We will also find out if you have any prior injuries to this area of the body. We'll evaluate your injury claim and make an offer to settle at the end of your treatment. As long as your treatment protocol matches your injuries and we don't suspect malingering or suspect any fraudulent activity, we'll lay off a medical review and surveillance. If we suspect either, we'll be watching, so be careful, stay within your doctor's protocol movement-wise. In relatively complicated injury accident claims, adjusters typically do some investigation in order to adequately assess the insurance company's liability. The adjuster will comb through your policy and possibly contact witnesses to the accident, the other party to the accident, look at the police report if there is one, take photographs of the damages and scene of the accident, and generally investigate your medical expenses by sending out requests to your medical providers for information regarding your treatment. If you are seeking to have medical bills covered, the adjuster will send you a medical authorization form for the release of your medical records. Once the adjuster has investigated your claim and looked at your policy, he or she will typically send you a settlement offer. The settlement offer will tell you what the insurance company is willing to pay on your claim. It could be all, it could be part, it could be none. This opening offer is typically on the low side. After all, the adjuster's job is to save his or her employer money. But the adjuster also wants to close a case and thus is typically allowed a settlement range that offers room for negotiation. Accidental claims can be of various types and basically vary according to the damage caused. An insurance company chooses different method for different types. A surveyor investigator is appointed by the insurance company, who is a third-party certified professional who is on panel of the company. He then checks the vehicle and also asks insured about the cause of accident and relates the story. In case of bodily injuries to the third party's involvement of police may also be required. Surveyor submits report to insurance company, which settles the claim on the same report.